So did you hear the one about Kristen Stewart's underwater? Well, if you didn't, don't worry. No one else did either. Oh man, give me that salt. Give me that salt indeed. So hey there. So today you and I are returning to that wonderful world of movies to ask ourselves a question. See, here we have Kristen Stewart's underwater flopping hard at the box office. And considering this is after Charlie's Angels, is the vessel the thing that's causing the problem, the movie out there, or is it the person in the driver's seat, aka Kristen Stewart? See, when it comes to this movie, first you have to understand how much it cost. This movie had a $65 million production budget, and the estimates for it with advertising were around $97.5 million to $120 million just to break even. If you think about that cost, you think about what you need to recoup. Then you think about underwater. What's that say? Well, if you look at sites like boxofficepro.com, you'll notice that the opening weekend range predictions, they were bad. And well, when the money comes in, it's even a lot worse. Now, I want to look at this first. I want you to look at the pros here because this does not say very much for the movie. The pros: Kristen Stewart and T.J. Miller. They stand out as recognizable presence with appeal to millennial audiences. So millennials, that's what you want, huh? You want Kristen Stewart and T.J. Miller. Oh, I didn't realize that. Didn't realize that at all. The cons to it. This is being blamed on The Grudge, by the way. A movie that significantly underperformed. Opening 1 week after The Grudge will likely deflate interest from horror genre fans unless this is able to generate significant buzz. Initial marketing and social footprints leave much to be desired. Yeah, aka nobody really heard about this movie, so why would anybody want to go out and back it? Now, when you look at the actual numbers for this, these numbers are terrible. You have a worldwide box office of $14,108,297. And this, if you look first of all at the domestic box office, this opens in almost 2,800 theaters. So you figure that 2,800 theaters to pull in $7,008,297. If you look at this day by day too, it gives you an idea of just how poorly this thing opens. It's basically like watching T6, except, watching a sluggish version of it. Now, when you look at the international numbers, these numbers, they fare just as poorly. Interestingly enough, Indonesia, of all places, is the number one spot. I was shocked by seeing that. Now, when you look at Indonesia, too, you're only talking $1.5 million. Then you get into France for $1 million, then into Mexico for under $1 million, and you see how far that falls off and how quickly. Now, all numbers may have not reported in. You may have also had a limited opening when it comes to the international audience, but still, looking at those numbers, they say that this thing, it's not only failing, but it's failing spectacularly. Now, one of the things that I like about Box Office Pro is that they give you a layout like this. They give you the release date, title, and they give you a lot of different stats with this. And one of those stats is the domestic total range, or their prediction for what will transpire over time. Now, when you're thinking about this earning, again, you have $7 million on opening week. How much do you think it'll make? Before I show you, let's give it to you in a 3, 2, 1. So Box Office Pro's high and low for this are $12 million to $25 million for domestic. And again, that's just domestic numbers. Still, if you go out, you say you double that. We would be talking about $24 to $50 million, assuming that nothing else changes up. Now, considering the fact that this cost $65 million just to produce, on that alone, you would be talking about, if we gave it that upper echelon, a $15 million loss. And that doesn't count going up to, say, $97.5 to $120 million. If we start adding on that, we get into some serious coin, saying $45 million all the way up into the 60s for loss. Now, to close this out, I want to make 3 points with it. The first one, if you want to look at who owns this and you want to see what kind of damage that Kristen Stewart can do to herself, you'll notice notice that Fox had ownership of this. Now, if we're talking about Fox, you remember that company that bought it out? A little company headed by the mouse. Yes, Disney. Now, there is no faster way to train wreck your career than go out and have mega flops with Disney, and especially in a year like this where they've already had problems with a lot of other smaller movies and big ones as well. Now, the second thing in that is a label that I'm noticing pop up a little bit more with Kristen Stewart. That label, Poison. Box office poison. Now, you've already seen her flop with Charlie's Angels. She's also had some other movies out there that have been more miss than hit. And when you start having that, people are going to stop taking chances on you, especially when you're talking about huge headliners. Now, the third thing, too, is this person, they forgot exactly how they got there. As in, they start talking about things like Charlie's Angels, as you'll notice in the related thing here, being described as woke. Now, if you're going out and you're talking about woke movies, you're talking about going out and preaching to people, how many people want to see that? And how many people want to see that related to horror movies right after it? See, people, they start seeing you a certain way. You can't shake that. It becomes bigger than any character on display. And I'm not saying that Kristen Stewart was a good actress anyway, but after that performance that we saw out in the media, after all the shots that these folks took with Charlie's Angels, yeah, I'm not willing to give them any chances, are you? But anyway, you tell me what you think about this stuff. I personally think it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of deserved. But you tell me what you think about it. I mean, do you think that this movie can actually rebound somehow? Do you think Kristen Stewart is done? I'm curious what you see in this. Now, ending this, I want to thank you for showing up. I want to thank you for participating. You make these endeavors possible. If you like this stuff, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, push these videos, by interacting on, that drill by now. Also, I want to thank you for your time, because your time is valuable. I don't want to waste any more of that, except to say that you are definitely appreciated here. You show up, you make comments, pro or con, whatever you want to do. I appreciate you just being here. So again, I won't waste any more time except to say thank you for that, and we'll do this again soon.